I'm Victoria and welcome back to my channel. Let's get right into it. Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to demo for you these awesome Crayola color pencils that I picked up from the store. What's really awesome about these color pencils is actually 24 different shades for coloring skin tones, which I find to be really super awesome and amazing, because a lot of times when you're coloring, you might find only one or two pencils that are meant to be used to color the skin tones of a huge wide range of people in the world. So I've actually used these before and I really enjoy them. So in this video, I'm just going to demo for you how I use them, how I blend them, and what they look like. So stay tuned for that video. Alright, so first I'm going to start off with a medium almond color. And I'm just very lightly going to shade over her entire face. Because I can be heavy-handed sometimes, what I'm doing is lifting up the paper. You can see a little bit on the side how the paper is lifted up. I'm lifting up the paper so that when I'm coloring, I don't have a lot of pressure going on. That way I can color very lightly. I'm also going to color lightly over her chest area and any exposed skin. And this color is medium almond. Okay, next I'm taking medium deep rose and I'm going to give her a little bit of color on her cheeks. A little bit of color on her nose and on her lips. I did add a little bit of rose to the chest area, the deep medium rose. And I'm just slowly layering the color on here to get the shape of the face that I like on the cheeks. So I just went back to medium almond just to help blend in those cheek color a little bit more. So I'm just going over it again with the medium almond shade, blending in the cheek color. I'm also, if you notice, darkening up the edges of the face with the same medium almond color, but I'm just going a little bit heavier than I did in the first pass. And I'm darkening around the edges of the face, underneath the chin, around the edges of her chest area where the hair is, because I'm imagining that the hair is leaving some shadow on her chest, so that area is a little bit darker because of the hair is laying on her chest. I'm also darkening up around the nose to give the nose that round shape. Adding a little bit of contouring underneath the eyes, just a rounded shape to give the appearance of the eyes are not flat, they're three-dimensional. And when you're coloring around the face, use your strokes in like a rounded manner to give that rounded appearance of the face. Now I'm going in with a darker color. This is light medium golden. And I'm going right back into where I put the original shadows, and I'm adding another shadow within that shadow, but this shadow is smaller. So I'm going back to the edges of the face and putting another shadow around that, but it's not going to be as wide as the original shadow. And I went back underneath the chin and added a smaller shadow underneath the chin. I'm just going back in again with the original first color, medium almond, just to help blend in all the colors that I just put on her face, a darker shade. And this, I just took some brown from the Crayola premium color pencils just to do her eyebrows, because that's the same color that I used for her hair. And I just added a little bit of the light medium golden to the little bit of skin that was showing on her hand. Now I'm going to take some petroleum jelly or Vaseline with a blending stump to help blend all those colors together. Just add a little bit of Vaseline to the end of the blending stump, and in circular motions we're just going to go over all those colors to help blend it in a little bit more. And while I'm blending this in, I want you to notice how I did this pattern of dark and light. The edges of her face are darker, and then it's a medium dark, and then it's the lightest shade. So it's dark, medium, light, going towards the center of her face. And because this character is light skinned, the dark, medium, light is very, very subtle, but it is there. My next character is going to be darker skinned, so you could see that transition from dark, medium, light a little bit better. Okay, so I'm starting out with this character's lightest shade, which is going to be light medium golden, and again I'm going to lightly go over her entire face with this color. I am going in very light circular motions, but around the edge of the face I do this light curving stroke to curve around the side of the face. That gives it a little more of a 3D appearance so that the face doesn't look really flat. Alright, so the next color is going to be our medium tone, which is medium golden. And again, I'm going to darken up the edges of the face with this medium golden. And I'm also leaving the middle of the forehead lighter. So I'm going around the edges of the face, leaving the middle of the face lighter with this medium tone. And this is called medium golden. And for darker skin characters, I always start very light and build up my shades. You can see here I kind of emphasized her nose a little bit more than I did the first character. What you're going to see on this character, I'm going to add way more layers than I did on the first, just because I like to slowly build up the characters, because you can always go darker but you can't go lighter. So I'm going to be going back and forth between colors, adding more and more layers as I get more and more comfortable with how dark she's getting. Now I'm just going around the eyes just to create a little bit more depth with the brown around the eyes. I'm also giving her really high cheekbones here. So I'm adding this curvature shape around underneath her eyes to make it look like she has really full and high cheeks. Next, I'm going to go in with her blush color, which is light medium rose. And I put it right up underneath her eye and a little bit on her nose, just to also give this character a really high cheekbone look. I'm going to also add a little bit of that light medium rose color to her lips. So right now we have our light color and our medium color. And next I'm going to add the darkest shade. And you can already see here the roundedness of her face, and that's just because as I'm coloring, I am coloring a rounded shape to her face. And this is the darkest color I'm going to add to her skin, which is the deep golden. And again, I'm going to add it to the edges of her face, but not as much as the medium golden. So if you look at the edges of her face, you'll see a dark color, then a medium color, then a light color going towards the center of her face. I'm also darkening up around the ears. And if you notice on this left side, I added a little bit more of a darkness, and that's just because of the hood of her jacket. I'm imagining that that hood is creating a bit more shadow on her face. So on this left side, you see a more darkness over here on the left. I'm also going around the eyes a little bit more with this dark color just to deepen the eyes, create more depth. I'm doing this rounded shape around her cheekbones, this to give a more ethnic look. Again, I'm adding that shadow underneath the chin. And you'll see me go back and do everything I did a little bit darker, just because, like I said before, I'm slowly adding the color onto this character because I don't want to go too dark and then I can't take it back. So as I'm comfortable with her color and I'm thinking, okay, she can be a little darker, I'm adding more and more color to it. I'm adding a little bit more pressure also. Contouring the face also around the nose to make her nose look a little bit more rounded and fuller than the original character, the first character that I colored. I'm going back to the medium shade, which was medium golden, to blend everything in. And when I'm blending everything in, I'm going back over top of the darker shades and blending it out. Just coloring on top of it and adding more color and a little bit more pressure to help it blend and transition a little bit more. I'm also contouring around the nose again, giving that rounded shape. I'm going back in with my deep golden, my darkest shade, and making everything a little bit more darker because I'm a little more comfortable with how she's looking. So I'm saying, okay, I can add some more color here. I can go a little bit darker. Darkening up around the nose. If you look at a face naturally, underneath the nostrils and around the nose, it's a little bit darker. This is the lightest shade actually that I use, and I'm using that to also blend with. So I can go over the entire piece with this lighter shade just to make sure all the colors are blending. And I'm just using black here from the Crayola premium set just to go over her eyebrows and her eyes. And when I do eyes, I always like to do a gradient type of effect. So I'm doing it very dark in the center of her eyes, and then I'm going to slowly lighten up the color as I move towards the bottom of her eye. But that's just a personal preference. And I'm just outlining the eye. Kind of giving it a more eyelash appearance. And lastly, just like I did with the last character, I'm going to go in with a blending stump and some Vaseline and blend everything together. Hopefully on this character you can see a little bit more of that transitioning from dark, medium to light as you move towards the center of the face. And looking at these two characters side by side, you can see how, just a little bit of an emphasis on the nose and the cheeks kind of changed the character's face, making it look a little bit more rounded. This coloring page is available on my website, createyourshine.com, so if you want to color along with me, you can download it for free there.